Okay, if you're finishing up, that's fine. Let's look at the first question. What mood does the music set? It sounds like the same song almost, doesn't it? Kind of playful, fun, positive, upbeat. Now, don't have to be an expert on World War I weapons to know. Do the lyrics match that mood? Because what are the lyrics about? Yeah, if you go out in no man's land, here's how dangerous it is and all these different ways you could die. So clearly the lyrics are like total opposite of the music. He's talking about gas attacks and hand grenades blowing you up, but it's like this positive, fun song. We already talked about some of the different dangers they look out. Rockets, artillery, machine guns, hand grenades, and gas were the ones I could hear. Did anybody have a different one than one of those? Okay. Huh? A whistle? Okay, but is that a danger? Unless he blew it really loud right next to your ear, probably not. Okay? Now, here's the better question. Why did he write this song? This song that the lyrics do not at all match with the sing-song, fun, happy, upbeat tune. The first one was obvious. It was a recruiting tool. He wanted some 19-year-old kid to hear the song and say, I got to make my mom proud. I got to enlist. But this one is clearly not a recruiting tool. Does anybody have a theory? Okay, I'm going to go over here. What do you got first, Maggie?
I put that it was to talk about the dangers of the weapons and that no man's land is safe.
Okay, so why write a song about the weapons and how no man's land is not safe? Okay, here's one thought. To scare other people away? So maybe instead of saying like how much fun and how positive it's going to be, he wants you to know how terrible it is. So any illusions of like, this is romantic and it's fun, it's an adventure, he's like, no, you're going to die and it's horrible and it's terrible, so the war should be over. Did anyone else have a different theory? That's an excellent theory, Mr. Foreman. How about this? He wrote it in 1919, which the war was over by the end of 1918. What about just as a record of what he experienced? Kind of like some guys might write a book and say, here's what my life was like in the trenches. Some might write letters home to their wife. What if he just wanted to share his experiences, but the medium he used was music instead of something written, like a historical document? Is that a valid explanation, do you think? Okay, I think so. Do you think those were all realistic things you would face in no man's land? Or is he exaggerating? Do you guys remember anything from World War I last year? Is no man's land a place you want to be? No. Definitely not. Okay? Now, if you hit save on each of those, we're going to be done with TCI for the day. Okay? Here's what we're going to do now. You need to pick, okay, option A or option B. If you have not successfully completed world history at Big Piney High School taught by myself, I count 5 of you, you're all on plan A. You don't get a choice. It's a good plan. Okay? If you have taken world history and passed it last year, you get to choose if you want to do plan A or B. Okay? Plan A is you're basically going to play a matching game. So look around the room. No. That one was fun, though. Do you guys see weapons diagrams around the room? Like this one says no man's land and the trench system. There's a picture and then a little, like, half a paragraph of writing. Like here's the airplane, artillery, etc. Okay? Plan A is you're going to try and match and play this game a primary source that doesn't name the weapon from someone who faced it. And you're going to read it and go, which one does that sound like? And there's a chart that you try and match them up. I have the answer key, and when you think you know them, you come to me, and I'll tell you if that one's right. Okay, so there's 9 weapons around the room. There's 9 primary sources. Guys and ladies who really faced off against them. Okay? Now, here's how Plan B is different. If you remember this, or just don't want to play that game, to help make this game better, you can get a partner, pick one weapon, and see if you can come up with a better primary source than I have for it. So it's kind of like, help me make this game better. So for example, if you go decide to do poison gas, and Des and I are partners for Plan B, we read that, and it's about some guy who faced off against a gas attack. Kim, listen. What we would do is say, okay, let's scour the internet and find a primary source, anyone you want to pick, of a guy who was actually subjected to poison gas, and you get to substitute that in for my source. So it's kind of like have a better excerpt or card to play in the game. And the reason that matters is because all of the U.S. history classes are going to do this today, but when world history gets to World War I in a couple of months, they play this game. So if you came up with a better source, then they'll use yours rather than mine that I have. And you can pick, there's 9 weapons. Okay, if you haven't looked at the list, the weapons are aircraft, artillery, battleships, flamethrowers, machine guns, poison gas, submarines or U-boats as the Germans called them, tanks, and trenches. So, if you're doing A, you don't need a partner. You're going to play the game. If you're doing B, help me improve the game, you need a partner, just 2 of you, and you're going to pick any one of those 9 you want to do. So I need you to decide right now, are you Plan A or Plan B? If you are Plan A, I need you to come to this half of the room. If you are Plan B, you're going to come to the far side of the room. A, play the game. B, have a partner and make it better. Take your laptop to whichever side you want to go. A, B. Hatcher, make a decision for yourself. Stop succumbing to peer pressure. A, play the game. B, have a partner and make it better. You pick. Take your laptop with you. Let's go. Okay, you guys, Plan A, go to Canvas. Plan B, you guys go to Canvas as well. We're just going to do something different but with the same assignment. Okay, you're all going to be moving back and forth, so don't worry if you don't have a seat. You're going to have to go around to read these. Okay, in Canvas, you're going to have 2 things to do this week. Today is weapons. Tomorrow is the home front. I'll explain. You can look and see what we're doing on the calendar if you want to read ahead. On our block day, which is Thursday, we're going to do home front propaganda and see if you can brainwash some Americans into doing what you want them to do. And then Friday, we have a quiz. Then you can go on break and forget everything you ever learned, come back, and we'll be done with World War I and pick up with the Treaty of Versailles, which was a major screw-up and really kind of caused World War II. But we'll get to that, okay? So this is one of 2 things you're going to do in Canvas this week. You'll see an assignment called Weapons of the Great War. Why do I, a historian, not like to call this World War I? Because we call it World War I today, right? What did people call it while it was happening? The War to End All War or the Great War. Nobody called it World War I because there wasn't a World War II yet. Does that make sense? You can't call it World War I until there's a World War II. So for probably the first 30 years, depending on what country you're in, people called this the Great War. That's what I'm going to call it in Canvas. Okay? Go to the Weapons of the Great War assignment. If you guys are Plan A, you'll see a link here that says in this chart. You need your own copy of that to play this game. People who chose option B, you don't need that chart. You probably still have one in your Google Drive from last year. Gosh, Google is awesome. What? Okay. Good call. What you guys are going to do, I put an example of this if you chose the flamethrower. So there's a secondary source that describes it in blue, and then there's a primary source, a guy who actually faced off against it in red. And what you're going to do is pick any weapon off that list. So like you 2 work together. Start with this. Pick a weapon that sounds interesting to you, that you want to do. You guys pick anyone you want as well. You want to do gas? And you can always switch. You can do anyone you want. Okay? Here's what you're going to do. Read that secondary source example and read primary. See if you can come up with that for gas shells and you guys for flamethrowers. I'll tell you this. It took me probably 20 minutes to find that one primary source. So if you want a challenge, you pick the right one, because it won't be easy.
Wait, what is it called?
Weapons. Okay, you don't need the chart. You guys don't need the chart. You already did it.
Why'd you ask the chart?
I just said you have like what they're doing in your Google Drive, right?
Yeah, well, I don't.
Okay, oh yeah. Burn some calories today. Okay, I'm going to give you a number. All you need is that chart you have open. Make sure you made a copy so you can type on it. 1, 2, look at me, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Listen, your number doesn't have anything to do. You don't have partners. Here's what it has to do with. I have 4 copies of primary sources. Okay? If you're a 1, you shall only use the orange desk. Hey, get off the yellow desk until I explain. If you are a 1, you come up to the orange desk. All of yours have an orange letter B on them. You pick any one you want. You read it. It doesn't tell you the weapon. It just describes it. Then you look around the room and go, oh, this one, maybe it's a tank. So you come up, look at the tank diagram and read about it, and then say, do I still think it's the tank? If so, I put it in my chart. The other thing you have in your chart, if you look at this, pick 3 adjectives to describe that weapon. You can't say loud, deadly, and scary for all of them. If you don't know what an adjective is, I will go get your English teacher and let her verbally abuse you for not knowing what an adjective is. It's a descriptive word. Okay? How would this weapon cause casualties on the battlefield? What would it be like if you faced it? You'll know because you'll read from a guy who did. When you think you have it, 1s, you put it back on the orange desk and pick a different number. If you're a 2, you have the green desk. You only touch stuff on your desk because if you mix them up, I'm going to send you to the front. Okay? And you're going to be in no man's land. If you're a 3, you have the yellow desk. Yours all have a yellow X on them. Take them from and return them to the same desk. 4s have the blue desk. Do we see how the game works? Go to your color chair and get a slip of paper. One is orange, 2 is green, 3 is yellow, 4 is blue. Once you read your excerpt, you have to find that weapon around the room. When you have, take it back to the desk you got it from. Let's go, Hamilton. You think life's hard, wait till the trench warfare one. Okay, see if you can match all 9 weapons to the 9 sources. When you think you have it, you come to me and ask, and I have the answer key.